What's up, everybody? Justin here from NBA The Show, and today I want to talk briefly with you guys about the top 5 overpaid players in the NBA. I want to first start off with this is my entire opinion, and if you guys have a different opinion, leave it in the comments below. So coming in at number 5 is Mr. Dirk Nowitzki. We all know Dirk is one of the best power forwards to ever play in the NBA. The 7-footer German is a 13-time All-Star and has won a championship in 2011. Dirk is now taking the backseat and now 38 years of age. Mark Cuban has given him that Kobe contract, and his numbers are now showing it. Or not so showing it. He's only played 5 games this season due to injury. However, he's only putting up 12 points per game and shooting 35% from the floor and 27% from the three-point line, compared to 18.3 points per game and shooting 44% from the floor last season. And this is why he comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, Mr. Derrick Rose at $21.3 million a year. Derrick Rose drafted first overall by the Bulls back in 2008 and was the MVP of the 2011-2010 season. In 2011 throughout 2013, he was plagued with injuries, and when he did return to the game, his numbers didn't come with it. After being on the Bulls team for 7 years, him and the organization decided to part ways. With so many amazing point guards in the NBA, this is why Rose made my list at number 4. $21.3 million is too much to pay a guy who's averaging just 16 points per game and shooting 43% from the floor and 28% from behind the arc. What do you guys think about this? Moving on to number 3, Mr. Allen Crabby at $18.5 million a year. Some of you guys may not even know who Allen Crabby is. When LaMarcus Aldridge left to go to the Spurs, players then got more touches and developed like CJ McCollum. Other players like Crabby went up from 3.3 points per game to 10.3 points per game. As the salary cap went up and his contract expired, the Trailblazers then offered Crabby a huge contract of $18.5 million. Crabby's numbers have went down since last season, just putting up 8.7 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, and 1.5 assists per game. And his shooting percentages aren't anything to speak about, shooting 42% from the floor and 33% from behind the arc. Coming up on number 2 on this list is Mr. Luol Deng at $18 million a year. Most people recognize Luol Deng from his Chicago Bulls days when he was dropping threes on your team or heavily guarding the best man on your team. Deng is no grandpa, but he is 31 and is slowing down after leaving the Bulls. He played 2 seasons with the Miami Heat after the Big 3 era. The Heat realized after signing Whiteside and attempting to sign Dwayne Wade, they didn't have enough money to pay Deng what he wanted, so a young team like the Lakers swept him off his feet for $18 million a year. Deng so far has been a disappointment, only averaging 6.6 points per game and shooting 32% from the floor and 31% from behind the arc. Deng in a Lakers jersey with a bunch of young guys just doesn't look right for me. Plus, he is way overpaid, but he's still a great defender, so let's move on. Honorable mention Chris Bosh at $23.7 million a year. I know he can't play due to blood clots, but still, $23.7 million a year. This was a dogfight between Bosh and the organization. Bosh wanted to play. The doctors didn't want him to. Bosh's doctors say otherwise. I didn't pick him as my number 1 because he is just an honorable mention. He is averaging obviously 0 in every single category and sitting at home relaxing on South Beach drinking a martini with a big fat check in his hand. So let's move on to the final spot. Other honorable mentions are Timothy Mozgov at $16 million a year, Ian Mahinmi at $15.9 million a year, and John Lore at $10.9. So let's go down to number 1. Last but not least on my list is Joakim Noah at $17 million a year. Defense. I don't care how much defense people think Noah has. A 6'11" center with no offensive capabilities, and his defense isn't as good as everybody says it is. He is slow on his feet and only averaging 0.7 blocks per game. In just 14 games with the Knicks this season, Noah is averaging 4 points per game on 46% shooting. He's 31 years of age and should have a lot left in the tank, but with these numbers, this is why he stands firm at my number 1. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment below with your top 5, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Take care, everybody. Peace.